Hi, True Crime Grapevine fans. I have an update on a case I told you about 4 weeks ago. It is the Maddi Kingsbury case. If you're drinking this week, I have a Moscow Mule because it's a nice drink. This is actually a virgin. It's almost midnight now on June 19th, the day after Father's Day. And speaking of fathers, we have in the updates and news stories that I'm going to talk to you about a lot of bad fathers, unfortunately. Not great, right? So Maddi Kingsbury, or I first introduced you to you all as Madeline. And there's her beautiful face. Madeline, unfortunately, has been found. She has been found unalived. Her remains were found. She was found in Mabel, Minnesota, which was about an hour away from where she went missing, her home in Winona, Minnesota. And as one of my famous, YouTube famous true crime best squeezes, Gizla K and Grizzly True Crime, shout out. She does map time. I'm going to be doing some maps for you. Not as good as hers because I have to figure out how to get it, like, whatever. Anyway, let me just tell you. She was found off a Highway 43. It was a very rural highway, little used, and she was like in a brush wooded area off the road, and she was concealed. Now, the property that she was found on was actually a property that the Fravel family had taken care of. They didn't own it per se, but they had done caretaking of that land. Fravel, you may know, is her ex-partner's last name. His family, yes. And in fact, his family's homestead, his parents, I believe, lived very close in Mabel. She was found, and this may be triggering, so trigger warning, wrapped in a fitted sheet with a towel wrapped around her head and neck, which if you follow true crime, I am sure you've heard that when people know the person that they have unalived, they will disguise their face because of obviously shame, because they know them. That's more of a sign of somebody that the person who unalived them knew. The death was ruled a homicide, but we don't know the manner of death still. The remains were found June 7th. There was a conference on June 8th saying that the remains were found and that the Winona police thought that they felt that it was probably Madeline. Then the next day it had been confirmed, and they had another conference on the 9th. So it's been 10 days since this all happened. The ex-partner that was the father of the children, Adam Fravel, he was arrested and charged. If you remember, in my last update, I had said and told you that he had wanted their children and custody of their kids after she just went missing and he didn't know where she went. He actually didn't have the custody of the kids. She had full custody, and they had to go get the kids from him, and he sort of like was having sort of a standoff at first with the the child protected services. Actually, her parents, they became foster parents, so they were able to, in an emergency care situation, take care of their grandchildren. There's a son and a daughter. If you remember at the beginning of this 4 weeks ago, I told you that they had been dropped off at daycare. Madeline was with Adam. They were in her van. Everything seemed fine. She had a little exchange, I guess, with her sister. So she was fine at that moment. So, but the last person she had seen with was Adam Fravel. So here is, if you can see behind me on my little presentation screen here, is she was found off Highway 43, which is right here. It's like nothing is there. It's very rural. And Mabel sits on the line of, if you can see, here's La Crosse, Wisconsin over here. So there's like Wisconsin. This is the beginning of Minnesota. I believe this is Illinois. And then Iowa is right over here. There's like all these states jam up right here, but in Mabel. So Winona is into Minnesota a little bit, and it's right on the Mississippi River. That is where they lived. And she worked as a research coordinator for the Mayo Clinic, and she was going for her public health master's degree. She was going places. And her loser, my opinion, just my opinion, allegedly, this is the route that Adam took in her van. And what they think is, he seems to have taken her van after they were in the car. I guess they went back home, is what has been bandied about theory-wise, because the police reported that when they were tracking and looking for her car versus his car was there, right? Because he was at home the whole time working. Her van had, I think, he switched the license plates. I don't know. He's trying to be like all tricky. Anyway, it seems like whatever happened at home happened there. The van then was driven up to Winona, or Mabel, driven down. Actually, I guess it would be south. It's about an hour. He did what he needed to do, and then, unfortunately, he went back and pretended like nothing happened. Nice guy. Allegedly. This is all alleged. So there was a press conference announcing that the remains had been ID'd. Obviously, very sad. And yeah, there's Mr. Adam. And there's his lovely mugshot. And, you know, he was fighting. He had been to court previously fighting with her parents for custody of the kids. And now he is fighting to, you know, whatever. Sorry. It's hard to feel a lot of sympathy, although we know that he is given the presumption of innocence until he's found guilty. And that road starts July 20th. That is the next time he will be in court. He has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. And I forget why it's 2 counts, how they... one might be their aggravation. I'm not exactly sure about that. But he was held on 2 million bonds, no conditions, 1 million bond with conditions. And I don't think he's bonding out because I don't think he has that money anyway. But, yeah. That is my update on the Madeline Kingsbury. Very, very sad. And I will let you know what happens on July 20th. All right. Bye.